Hello, everyone. My name is Jamar Morrison, and this is episode 6 of Through the Years. So this is going to be 2023 Beyond the Veil. And today I have a very, very special guest. I have taught him ever since he was in high school. It's also my first year officially teaching high school marching bands. I have Mr. Ben Tovia.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Can you tell everybody about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Ben. I have been with STRYKE Wynds since 2022, first year after the pandemic, and I've been with the group every year since. I play the baritone, and I am also, 3 out of my 4 seasons, I have been one of our cone setters on our floor team.
Cool. What high school do you come from?
Cypress Bay High School. Graduated in 2020. I only marched my junior and senior years, so 2018 and 2019. And then I am very fortunate to have the opportunity to actually be one of the instructors on the marching band team there now, which it means a lot to me to be able to go back there and kind of help out where I can.
Of course. Give it back to the place that you've been at. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Of course. How did you end up at STRYKE Wynds?
So I knew about STRYKE from obviously you. My first season marching in high school was 2018, and that was we were your second group, right?
I had you guys in West Broward, yeah.
And in that first season, yeah. And so you would kind of like once audition season started rolling around, you would kind of post on our Facebook groups and be like, "Hey, I do this thing. You guys should come out." And I didn't know anything about it, but a few of my classmates went, namely Patrick Giles, who still with us now, still great, still one of the best musicians I've ever met. And he kind of, he was one of my section leaders in high school, and we've remained close friends since. And so after the pandemic, when STRYKE was coming back in 2022, him and a couple other now alumni who I met through him, we're like, "Hey man, we really need numbers after, the world shut down. So we're gonna have a spot. We can talk to our staff, and if you want to come out, send some videos in, see." And so I sent some videos to Ravi, Pat, and former ensemble captain Alex Carrasco. Went and spoke to him about me, and his exact words were, "If he sucks, he's your problem." And I suck, and I was their problem. But I'm fortunate enough that they kept me around this long.
You got that from the Jamar DNA. Yeah.
For sure, absolutely.
So when you got to STRYKE Wynds, how was your first year? How was your experience?
The best word I can use is surviving, right? It was one of those things where at the beginning, after I haven't picked up a baritone in about 3 years. I'm a trombone player as like my main.
So you were cold going into it.
I was completely cold.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
And so I had done like a semester with the Broward College Jazz Band beforehand. So not like cold on music, but like cold on baritone, cold on valves. And so coming in, it was just like so much new vocab being thrown at me, higher level than anything I've ever done in terms of like music. So I'm just trying to keep my spot on the floor and not combust and just be like, I don't, just like constantly looking around, trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing, not trying to, stick out in any way, but survival, definitely the word there. I was trying to survive on the floor.
Yeah, it was kind of like the rising tide raises all ships, in a sense. Like you kind of had to step up a lot.
Yeah, no, I had to figure my stuff out. Yeah. So to speak, yeah.
So you had to work really hard?
Yes, I worked very hard. No, from like not being able to play any of the technical warm-ups to kind of like, we get to like mid-season and it's like, okay, I can do this now, but the bar is still being raised. The challenges become more challenging as we're adding more show and more things to what we already have. But I'm getting better fast enough that it like, the difficulty maintains. It doesn't get more difficult, but it still stayed really hard.
Yeah.
Was it the same for you at the beginning?
No, I actually came into STRYKE Wynds. I was actually supposed to march FIU Wynds originally.
No kidding.
Nobody knows this.
I didn't know that about
I was
you.
supposed to march FIU. I was supposed to march Rhythm X. I was supposed to march at other places. Yeah, I've never said this before, like out loud, but I originally got a contract at FIU in 2016.
Okay.
But then I was Ubering to rehearsals and I couldn't afford it all the time. So then my old lessons teacher, Paula Monique, cadet legend, and Paul also taught at STRYKE Wynds. She wanted me to come in. And that's when I met Josh for the first time. So I came in and did that, but I came in off the premise of being a soloist, so that was really fun for me. And um, it was funny because after I finished my first year, going into 17, that's when like real work started. I think for
Right.
me, like that was the hardest show I've ever marched. I had to really step up. I had to do a lot of work, and I think that one was where I had to work hard. I think that's where like my real hardworking mentality came from. 2017. 2017 is a
Got it.
pivotal year for me. But yeah, no, I had to do a lot of work, and then that's why I returned to Strike Wins. And I ask people all the time, what made you return to Strike Wins? Because I think you can easily just not. So why did you come back?
So what's funny about that, and that second season for me is this one right here,
Hmm.
and it's very special for a lot of reasons. But
Hmm.
what's funny about it is in the off season, I had a kind of a friend group that solidified throughout the course of 2022, and it's like
Hmm.
these are my friends now outside of this,
Hmm.
and I had heard from a couple of them that like, hey, this next season, like things are going to kind of step up a
Yeah.
little bit,
Mm.
and I guess somewhere through the grapevine, someone had heard that they weren't too sure on if I was going to be able to hang
Yeah.
coming back. So
How'd that make you feel?
I got in my own head.
Really?
I was really nervous because
Mhm.
I try to have like confidence, and it's something I've worked on over the years. I don't want to get all therapy
No, no,
session
no, no.
on
You're
this,
good.
but
You're good. Yeah.
it's there's a lot of doubt in there,
Yeah.
and it makes itself known at the worst possible times,
Hmm.
which I'm sure a lot of people can kind of know what that feels like.
Of course, anyone can.
But I kind of got in my own head because I was like, realistically, I'm not that good right now,
Hmm.
and
At
like
that
I
time.
don't at that time, yeah, and it's like I don't own my own instrument to kind of shed during the off season,
Hmm.
so I would be going in pretty much cold again, and like
Mm.
that, the idea of like having to work my way back up, it scared me, and I knew the audition turnouts were going to be pretty big, so I went to. I want to say it was the second audition. It was either the first or the second one.
Okay.
And I went and had a time. Wasn't really feeling it. Had some other personal stuff going on that I
Such as
don't
life.
really
That's
want to
fine.
get into.
That's fine.
And so I quit after the second audition. I received a call back, for the callback camp, and I
Hmm.
was like, I don't think this is right for me right now.
Huh.
So I went away. I worked. I did. I think I was still in school at the time.
Hmm.
And I don't know how much you know this, and I
Hmm.
don't know if you still have it, but you held a New Year's party
Hmm.
going into 22 into 23,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of strike people there
Hmm.
who I knew and I had marched with the year previous, and I went, and it was the first time I had seen a lot of them in a long time, and I just felt it in my heart. I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I need to be with these people, because I like leaving strike. My things have just kind of gotten worse because it's like now I don't even get to see people I actually enjoy being around.
Correct. You don't have your community.
I'm working a cruddy little job at some pizza place.
Hmm.
Just getting like 8 an hour plus tips, not
Mhm.
having a good time. So the very next day, New Year's Day, I had a shift. My boss tried me about some stuff that I didn't do, and I quit that night. And 2 days later, I emailed Josh saying, "Hey, I heard you guys still have spots. Would I be able to come in?" And I was
Mhm.
back the next week. And and that was about mid-January, I think,
Yeah.
that I came back in. And at your party, when New Year hit, you had a little bottle of champagne, popped it.
Mhm.
I grabbed the cork, I held onto the cork, and I gave it back to you after we won this trophy in the lobby.
Mhm.
And
I remember that.
It was a full circle moment
Yeah.
for me because I held onto it specifically because I was like, I need to give this back to Jamar because I'm not here if not for you. Like,
Oh,
in
don't
that
make me
way.
cry.
But yeah, no, that's kind of my story of how I came back in 23.
Mhm.
That was a very long-winded answer to your question.
No,
I
you're good.
apologize for that.
No, you're
But
good. Mhm.
it's a memory that I like to hold really dear.
As you should. What does 23 mean to you?
Um,
That show itself.
that show is probably like my favorite this is gonna sound kind of weird. Just follow me on it for a second. Probably my favorite vibe of any of the shows that I've marched here. Just like the blue's my favorite color, and it's a very blue show, and it's so like melancholic and very like there's the message of it, like the inspiration behind it, the Eric Whitacre album, like it all like I felt it. It resonated with me really hard, and so that show and that season, like, it means a lot. It really does. And like I went through some health problems during that season. My knee, I don't know if this is gonna pick up on the mic, but it cracks. It's very loud. But to kind of end it off the way we did, getting the first world-class trophy, world-class gold that the organization's gotten, it meant a lot because it meant like everything we went through, like the pain, the literal physical pain that I went through was worth it. Yeah. Because we achieved everything we set out to do.
That makes sense. Yeah. For me, I think with that show and what Beyond the Veil like represented for me was just it wasn't just emotional. I think that's very easy to say, but like it was such a big culmination because it was the first time we've won a world class. Before I aged out, that was one of my biggest goals, to like give, not even just to achieve it for myself. I just wanted to give that to this organization. And for me, it felt so good because like seeing you guys do it, and I was like on a different side of it. I was teaching. It was, and I'm crying about it. Like it just felt like I did my job. Like I made sure that when I passed the torch, it was done properly, and I feel like that was like the biggest thing that I wanted to do. And I don't know, it just even made me imagine it for my dad, because he passed away the year before, and I don't know, I just wanted to do something to make him proud in a sense, but I think that's human, right? So I think that show in itself, if anybody ever gets the chance to watch Beyond the Veil, it's the idea of between life and death. And I think what's important is, I think there's, as sensitive as a topic as this may be, I think it's very important to understand that, like, things in that nature, life and death, are inevitable, and it's going to happen to all of us. But I think that's something that we can all relate to and remember. And I think for me, it was also a bit of a transition going from like a member to an instructor, and like the baton was passed and all that, and my dad, and it just felt like I cried when you guys won. Like I cried, like I like, because it just took so long, you know what I mean? And I think that show to me was so great, and that season too. I think you guys rallied a lot. I remember after prelims, you guys were just annoyed, and like we were trying to figure out when are we going to rehearse. So that's how it ended up, and that's how it went. And 23 was such a special production. So I guess for you, like, when you reflect on 23, what's like your fondest memory of it?
If I could just piggyback off of what you said just now for a second, like, first of all, that after prelims, we went that night and had our best rehearsal of the season, and that was very special for a lot of reasons. The fact that like got punched in the mouth and like got right back up, and like we got so much better that night, better than we probably should have. And like I truly believe that if not for that night, we don't pull this off. No. But no, man, and like doing it, like you talk about, you were crying. That is an image that I remember very, very detailed. And like for people like you who have been here since 2016, correct? And for Brandon Cruz, who came back, who did not march 22, came back in 23, had also been there since 2016, was my section leader. And like for all the people who have been here 4, 5, 6 years, who have worked tirelessly to try and make this happen, like, it was special, man. It really, really was. My fondest memory of that season, it's tough not to say, hearing your your group's name get called in
yeah.
first place. But
I thought when it happened, I thought it was a troll.
so this is what I was about to say. What's so funny about that is like I get put. I was in shock because I heard in second place with a score of, I don't even remember the number.
Oh, I remember the number, right?
In second place with a score, and he said the name of the other group. And it took my brain about 4 or 5 seconds to register that he did not say STRYKE Wynds.
Right.
Because it's ingrained.
Yes.
That it's like that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we didn't. But other than that, man, the morning of prelims at you'll have to forgive me, I don't remember the rehearsal site, but it was the same place that you guys rehearsed in 2019.
And 16.
16
oh, no, different place. No, it's the same place. 16. It was 16 and 19. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
that. That place is legendary.
That place, because that's if anyone watching this is friends with Josh on Facebook,
that 50-person rotation video.
Josh will repost
notorious.
the 2019 rotation videos every single year.
Yeah.
And it's that rehearsal site.
Yeah.
And we went there, and it was Robbie couldn't stay for finals.
I remember
because he had to fly back. He was with Selman Douglas.
Yeah.
And so that morning he conducted us through our E-flat chorale, and it was the first time I had seen him like smile, like big smile all season.
Yeah.
Because like it was finally what he wanted it to sound like.
Right.
And like that, like play the first note, sing the first 5 bars, play through it, and like that video's on YouTube. You can go watch it. It's that chorale and that memory means a lot to me.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. Now, I guess my next question would be, is if you had anything to say to this is a new question.
Okay, love it.
If there was anything you wanted to say to any of the alumni, what would it say? What would you say? Sorry. What would you say?
What would I say? Man, a lot. I'd say a lot because I talk a lot, but I think the overall message of it would be just thank you. Thank you for paving the way for us. Thank you for being world class so that we get to be world class. Thank you for setting the example. And to the ones that I marched with, thank you for helping me find a home and a family here, because I like, this place means a lot to me. The director of our organization, Scott Hughes, he said something the other day when he was here talking to us. These groups don't matter without their members.
Correct.
The members make the group.
Yeah.
And like I 1000% like am behind that.
Yeah.
And like the members that I have gotten to march with over my time here, like a lot of them, like I consider family now.
Yeah.
Like my brothers and sisters, and I'm so grateful to be able to share the opportunity that we're given here.
Of course.
With just like my favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't take that for granted ever.
Right.
And like, you know, you like, he opened it like with the truth. He has instructed me every single season I've ever marched. Both here and here and in high school. But like through that, like I think we have formed a really close friendship, and it is one that I hold very, very dear.
Oh, same.
Like I hope you know that.
No, I do. It's fun because we go and play basketball and we hang out and talk life. That's some of my greatest memories.
Real conversation. Like we've talked about things that I like, at least from my side, like that I would not say to a lot of other people.
Of course, yeah. But I think you need people like that in your life. Anyone does.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm so grateful that I can count a good amount of the people that I can have those conversations with that are in my life are people that I met here doing this.
So with that being said then, what would you say to the future members of STRYKE Wynds? What would you tell
it's going to be really hard. There's going to be days that you're just going to be surviving out there, but you are going to get so much better, and you are going to find that the people here are the best people in the world, and you're not going to want to go through anything with anyone other than them. Like, it's going to be really hard some days. Like, Robbie's going to come in and he's going to scream at you, and Josh is going to say you look like a baby giraffe. But you're going to go out and you're going to talk to your friends, and you're going to be like, what was I even upset about?
Yeah.
What a great day at STRYKE Wynds.
You're here.
You're here.
Yeah.
We're doing so many cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like not like even beyond STRYKE Wynds, that just the activity music band is giving us, like, with great people. And I'm so thankful for that. And I yeah. That's kind of the message. Like I said, I talk a lot.
No, you're good. Cool. And then I guess the closing question would be, this is your last year doing STRYKE Wynds.
Confirmed. Josh, don't message me next season. I got no money anymore.
What would you, how would you describe in one word, your entire experience at STRYKE Wynds?
Man.
You only get one word?
I only get one?
Only one word.
Grateful.
Interesting.
Grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell one more story?
Yeah.
At the end of 22, we came in second place, and that was fine for me because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
You didn't know.
I didn't like, I knew a little bit, but
Yeah.
like I was sobbing in the lot, and it had
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with the score. It had nothing to do with the silver. It had nothing to do with any of that, because it was something that me as a 19-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
I had to do math. Sorry. As a 19-year-old, the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And not only doing this, like, I paid for all of it out of pocket, which is something that was like meant a lot to me personally, because it's like I literally worked for this
Mm-hmm.
in every way.
Yeah.
And so I'm sobbing in the lot because I'm like, I was so overwhelmed with like gratitude that I got to have this experience.
Correct.
And so I'm grateful for STRYKE Wynds.
I like that. Well, Ben, this was good, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad to see you grow, and
Appreciate that, man.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
That's a two-way street. Like, y'all don't know how much this guy does, like, behind the scenes, and he needs his flowers at all times. If you ever see him on the street, go up to him and say, JKM,
Oh, shut up.
you the GOAT.
All right, cool. Bye.